Since 2012, Garde has had a major presence in LA, Summerlin, California, and Dallas, Texas. And now we are lucky enough that they have come here to New York. So now you're in New York, but what took you so long?
Most people don't think of New York as a place to come and retire. People certainly thought, oh my God, you're crazy. You don't do this at your age. You're going to go to Florida or California, or, something on the beach. But think about it. I can wake up in the morning and decide, I'm going to go buy tickets for a play. I'm going to go to the Guggenheim. I'm going to stroll through the most magnificent park in the country.
And we can also get a senior citizen discount in the most expensive city in the world.
And I think having lived here before, there's something about New York that just gets under your skin.
So I grew up in New York, and my mom was an interior designer, and I would often go with her to the D&D building, which is right where you guys are, which is such a terrific place for your gallery to be.
Yeah. The building also has a history and a charm about it that we've always wanted in our galleries architecturally.
We also kind of wanted to embrace this idea that we were going into a traditional old New York design district with our concept, which is kind of new and contemporary and about emerging artists, but bring it to a place that wasn't so obvious.
Right.
We got really, really lucky. I mean, it was important for us to be on street level. We wanted to be able to be approachable and present, and that was much harder to find.
So this space feels so unusual for the neighborhood.
Traditionally, Garde has always acquired a space that has some architectural value to it, but unique, a sense of charm to it, because we represent the most amazing designers and artists. They deserve the very best.
And honestly, the architecture here did have to be uncovered. The space was in pretty bad shape, but as we started to unpeel some of the layers, we started to discover some really beautiful things, and it really helped us finalize the design of the space to what we have now.
It's also so connected to the outdoors. I love that. I love how you can see it from the outside and it pulls you in.
Our clients over the years have always come into our shops and said they could live in our spaces. And having that backyard, if you will, combined with the kitchen and all this wonderful living space, we hope that the New York clientele will feel exactly the same way.
So you're really known for fostering emerging and exciting artists.
We have. It's been a passion of ours. We like telling the process and the story of those artists. It's also why we chose an emerging designer to help us execute the vision of this gallery.
Like Scotty and I being a husband and wife operation, Becky operates the same way. So our work with her was very personal, very collaborative, but her book, if you will, is still being written. And we hope that, like many of our designers that have become, if you will, household names, that Becky will have that same success.
So we've been working with Scotty and John for the last 6 years, and we actually make trips out to LA twice a year to source elements for all of our projects, because Scotty is the ultimate sorceress and finds the most beautiful pieces everywhere.
So as a designer myself, I always come to a project with a strong narrative or a strong ethos. Can you talk about that in terms of this project?
Absolutely. So with our design ethos, it's all about complementary tension. So it's about light and airy and dark and moody and bridging those two together. And I believe we accomplished that here, with the first floor being very light but warm and inviting, and then the second floor is very dark and sultry and sexy.
Yeah, absolutely. I imagine that designing a space like this is actually quite difficult because you have to create this envelope within which everything can shine.
We were able to accomplish that by thinking about foundational pieces like the millwork and how they're going to display all of the elements that they procure, but also keeping in mind that everything here is transitional. Having those core pieces in place that will speak to future makers and display their work beautifully was really key, top of the list for us.
Scotty told me this terrific story about your sort of move from the sculptures to jewelry. Could you explain that?
Well, we saw John and Scotty last year, and it was the moment that when they were thinking about coming to New York, finding the right place. And at that moment for her birthday, I gifted her an earring with the word "dare." And it seemed like such a strong message for her because it was a part of that moment in her life that she needed to dare and to find the right energy to take that new step. And that's when she said, okay, now you dare to come to New York as well. So you create some jewelry for us. And I, of course, I couldn't say no. It was such a nice question. And that's how the Dare collection was born.
We've been so lucky to find this location, this architectural gem, and I think we will continue to educate and inspire and be a conduit between our artists and our clients, Delphine, who of course has dared me to be here in the first place.
And while it seems like this chapter is only just beginning.
My feeling is, okay, you're in New York, I am back, baby. Watch out.